O'Connor, for me, we need to try and get him tied up if we can. He's a bit of an unsung hero, I think. But it wouldn't surprise me. He's been with us a few years now, O'Connor, and it wouldn't surprise me if there's other League Two clubs or even League One clubs sniffing around him, and he might want something fresh, a different change. So it wouldn't surprise me if he went. Obviously, we've had the farcical situation this year with the left backs going back to Jake Leake and Norris, James Norris, and Merry's played there, and Connor Wood's played there, and Bellahoon's played there, and Turnbull's played there. So it is a concern, but I think when it comes to the first choice 11, if you were picking a first choice 11 today from everybody fit, I think most of the players that you would want in it, we do have tied down, apart from, as you say, maybe the fullbacks. It's interesting with the back four, because we're going to need a left back next season. I'm not convinced James Norris is good enough defensively to fulfil that role. I think he's a very good footballer, and I think he's probably better going forward than he is defensively, like a lot of modern day fullbacks, to be fair. I think what's interesting about players out of contract is Merry, because mainly since Nigel's come in, we've played 4-4-2. And obviously he tinkered with it and played Jennings and Hendry as a two in the middle a few games ago, and it didn't work. Neither of them have enough defensive discipline, I don't think, Hendry or Jennings, to play that role. So it's interesting, the last couple of games he's gone for this kind of back four, almost like a 4-1-2-3 with that defensive midfielder sitting in front of the back four. And obviously Walker can play that role, but Merry has done a decent job, and it means that Hendry and Jennings don't have to do as much defensive work. Obviously, it means you don't have two central strikers, but Luke Norris did quite well on Saturday in that central role, and we can get Jennings, etc., up, and obviously to support him, and Jennings scored. So, yeah, the contract situation will be like a lot of teams, I think, but we've got a good nucleus signed. If we could sign O'Connor, I think that would be great. I'd be quite happy if Connor Wood stayed. I think the longer that he's played, I know he's injured at the moment, the more games he got, the better. That, again, not perfect, but he's a League Two left back that we can afford. So I think the longer that he played, the better that he became. But other than that, as I say, if you're starting a team for next season, I think apart from the right wing slot, where Abder is, and possibly the fullbacks, we're pretty much there with players that are signed on. As you say, Turnbull and Davis at the back, goes without saying. Hendry, Walker, midfield, maybe Jennings, Saunders, whether people think he's a starter or not. And obviously Luke Norris is the big question mark. Obviously his contract's up. Kieran Morris is on the contract, and McGee. So I think what will happen is Nigel's going to go for quantity over quality, quality over quantity, I should say. So you like Sir Paul Lewis, probably one of Bellahoon or Hockenhall will go, I'm assuming. Paul Lewis will go. Merry might go. Obviously, Abder will go back. Macalia, people like that. Jake Leake will go back. I think there's 7 or 8 players at least that will depart, whether they go back to their parent club or for what. Christian Dennis, another one who I think will probably try and terminate his contract or see if we can move him on, because that's not worked out. So we may well look to get rid of 7, 8, 9 players and then just bring in perhaps half of that amount and just say go for quality over quantity. But there's still some decisions to be had, but that's the job of the manager, I guess. It must be a tough decision trying to, you look at Bellahoon and Hockenhall played the last 2 games. We've not been perfect, but we've won them both. So it's got some decisions to make there. But it's always interesting time. I always like this time of season when you see clubs retained and released lists, and you see who's been released, and you think, oh, that would be a decent signing and things like that. So that will probably come out perhaps not long after the Accrington game, and then they can start planning. Although I'm sure they've already been planning anyway for next season. So we'll see what happens, but definitely more quality over quantity for sure next year.